Welcome. I'm Pollyanna, and today we're going to look at a news article from 2008 that is still relevant to the decisions that we make today. This article announces the addition of acupuncture therapy to the list of medical treatments supported by British Columbia's Provincial Health Service Provider, MSP. We're going to talk about if those coverages are adequate, if the coverage amounts have kept up with market rates, why these therapies are important, and what life would look like if British Columbians had full coverage and equal access to these kinds of therapies. CTV News published the article in 2008 announcing that British Columbia was the first group of Canadians to receive coverage for acupuncture therapy. To this day, 16 years later, British Columbia is still the only province that offers provincial health insurance for acupuncture services. This coverage is not available to all British Columbians. In fact, it is only available to those who qualify for MSP's supplementary benefits, such as low-income households. Additionally, there's been no major changes to the costs or services MSP will cover since the addition of acupuncture made the news. This news article states that only households with a combined income of $28,000 per year or less will have access to this coverage. But it's a little more complicated than that. If we look at the British Columbia government website, it has a bit more to say about the eligibility for these supplementary benefits, and explains it a little better. It says that the benefit is based on your household's adjusted net income. This is your net income data from CRA, with adjustments for age, family size, and disability. The cutoff is a maximum of $42,000 of income annually for your household, which is still below the poverty line or low-income cutoff for couples with 3 or more children. Let's look at what is included in this MSP coverage. The article claims that MSP will cover up to $23 per visit to an acupuncturist, with a maximum of 10 visits each year. That is less than 1 visit per month. But this is not coming from its own pool of funding. In fact, there are 6 services that qualify for this $23 coverage, each counting towards the combined total of 10 visits per year. These services are acupuncture, chiropractics, massage therapy, naturopathy, physical therapy, and non-surgical podiatry. It still does not supply any coverage for health services like occupational therapy or registered dietitians. So, if you wanted to use all 6 services, you would be able to only attend 1 to 2 visits per service per year. This calls into question whether or not 10 visits are really adequate. You see, therapies tend to function as a series of visits, especially this kind. With the initial appointment, it's more of an assessment than a standalone treatment. Furthermore, this initial assessment costs more than the subsequent visits and must be repeated if it's been a year since your last appointment, increasing your out-of-pocket costs by only being able to attend once a year. If you want to access each of these services that are covered, which of these services can you get for $23? Well, the short answer is none. In today's market, the average cost of these services can range from between $100 and $200 for the initial visit, and approximately $65 for each subsequent visit. That is a lot more than $23. So should that really count as affordable for low-income citizens that are trying to just meet their basic needs? How much are people affected by this inequality to access these therapies? Well, the CTV News article says that the provincial health minister acknowledges the safety and effectiveness of these kinds of health services, yet access to them is not as protected as other health services. These types of non-invasive, drug-free therapies like acupuncture, chiropractics, massage therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, these are powerful interventions. They can mean the difference between a person being an active participant in their own life or their health degrading and then becoming less and less functional. These therapies can protect or regain a person's ability to go to work or school, to look after their family and enjoy a reasonable quality of life. Without adequate support to access these services, not only do we see an excessive number of people missing out on these normal activities of life, but down the road, the absence of these interventions leads to high-cost, invasive medical care, where MSP may finally step up and cover the bill. That causes tens of thousands of dollars to be spent on preventable surgeries and appointments with specialists. Is this really the best use of our taxpayers' dollars? And by forcing British Columbians to choose their treatment based on their finances instead of what is best for their health, are we really honoring the ideology of informed consent? British Columbians should not be forced to choose to put their health on hold due to financial hardship, waiting until the problem becomes severe enough to require invasive intervention. They should not be financially pressured into drug therapies covered by MSP's Fair Pharmacare, instead of having the freedom to choose preventative, pain-reducing therapies like massage or acupuncture. The government is always telling us how important it is to get good, healthy diet and exercise. They give us charts about portion sizes, and they mandate that ingredients and nutritional information is on every package. But when it comes to ensuring that British Columbians know how to implement these healthy lifestyles, the government steps back and claims that the funds are needed elsewhere more. But what would happen if you could use these resources as freely as going to your family doctor? Well, maybe you go down to a registered dietitian and you come up with an attainable plan to reduce your risk of developing diabetes or heart failure from high cholesterol, some of the leading health problems in Canada. Maybe you go to a physiotherapist and learn about healthy body mechanics and develop an exercise plan that works for you, improving your cardiovascular health and reducing your risk of injury. Maybe then you could access an occupational therapist. They can do a workplace assessment, and you can go to work in an ergonomic environment so your back pain finally stops hurting and you can put those pain medications away. These are fundamental aspects of our quality of life and our ability to participate fully in society. These are health services that can change the course of our lives and deserve truly equal access. So what do you think? Is provincial health insurance doing enough? Are your best interests really being looked out for? Or is 16 years a sign that it's finally time for change? Thank you for joining me today to talk about these vital healthcare issues. I hope this has given you some food for thought, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Until next time.